Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. I'm Annika Spalding, the Community Relations Director here at the Amarillo Little Theater, and this is Thursdays at 3, where I go live every Thursday to get you caught up on what's happening this week at ALT. This season, Thursdays at 3 is very generously sponsored by our good friends at Realty Central Services. Cindy Bulla is the owner and broker of Realty Central and is a longtime supporter and champion of ALT, so this partnership is really meaningful to us. Realty Central is a women-owned, full-service real estate brokerage providing unparalleled customer service backed by decades of experience, industry service, and property rights advocacy. So if you're in need of real estate service and you love ALT, please consider heading over to amarillo.realestate and using Realty Central Services. Okay. Audiences are going crazy for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The final weekend of performances begins with shows tonight, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. with Saturday and Sunday matinees at 2:30 p.m. This is a sold-out run, but you can call our box office to be added to our wait list, and we will give you a call if any tickets become available. You can also stop by the Adventure Space when the doors open at 7 p.m. or on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. If any tickets are turned in, we will let you know before the show begins that they are available for purchase. We also ask that if you have purchased tickets for Cuckoo's Nest, since this is a sold out run, and for some reason you can't make it, please contact our box office and turn those tickets back in so we can get someone else in to see the show. We would be so grateful. I also want to let you know a little reminder this season, all evening shows will begin at 7:30 p.m. and not 8 p.m. For Cuckoo's Nest, the Adventure Space will open at 7 p.m. for evening shows and 2 p.m. for matinees. We also still need some volunteers. I'm sorry, that is so tiny, but we still need some volunteer help with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, ushering and concessions for the matinee this Saturday, the 23rd. If you are interested in helping with ushering or concessions, please contact our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin. You can email her at the email address you see on your screen, or give her a call at the box office at the phone number you see on your screen. We also want to recognize ER on Sansi and Dr. Jerry Rose for sponsoring One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. ER on Sansi has advertised in our playbill for years, and we are so excited that this partnership worked out. It's so perfect with all of the medical jargon and things going on in Cuckoo's Nest. They will have a table set up in the lobby of the Adventure Space throughout the run of the show with information on all the work they do, and also a ton of candy if that interests you. We love our community partners. We want to thank ER on Sansi for all you do to keep ALT thriving. And of course, all of our community partners do that. We're so grateful for them. This is really exciting. Last night, we hosted our Academy Open House and Volunteer Happy Hour here at the Allen Shingles Main Stage. We gave out door prizes, and Academy students had the opportunity to meet their Academy instructors. We also got to hear Harrison announce where the Showstoppers will be competing this year, and they will be going to Louisville, Kentucky. Harrison also announced next year's summer musical, and it will be You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. This will be a 2-weekend run at the Adventure Space next summer. Here is the video that Jason took of the kids' reactions. Let's watch.
Travel team. So last year we went to a musical theater festival contest that I think was such a cool, unique opportunity for our group. So I'm excited to continue doing this. This is a different festival that we're going to this year. And it is
London.
It's called the New York. No, it's not. It is the National Youth Theater Experience in Louisville, Kentucky.
Woo-hoo! Okay. That's your crusty thing.
In terms of fundraising and all of those sort of things. But a lot of the same groups that we saw last year are going to be there again this year. So some of the networking that was happening last year with fellow students is going to get to continue, and we're going to get to watch school theater and do school theater. I'm really excited. Next summer, I'm very excited to do one of my personal favorite shows. The show means a lot to me always has. And is just such a sweet, lovely show. We're going to do this over at the Adventure Space for 2 weekends next summer. And it is, drum roll please. You're a Good Man.
so excited for our Academy kids to do that show. I got to do that show when I was in high school, and it was such a blast. I'm so excited for everybody to get to do it. Andrew Hawkins says, so excited for the shows. If you haven't seen an Academy show, you are missing out. Agreed, Andrew, completely agree. So we're very, very excited for next summer and for our amazing Academy students to put on You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, July 10th through the 19th, 2026. And you also need to pay attention when Harrison makes videos like the one he did before the open house, because he is a mastermind and he planted Easter eggs for our Academy kids in the video, with the original poster of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown in the background, as well as a framed photo of the ALT Adventure Space. So when Harrison posts stuff like that, you might want to pay a little extra attention. You might have a little clue next time you try to figure out a show that he is trying to announce. So pay attention to that, because, oh, my friend Michelle. Hello, Michelle. I'm so excited for your second weekend of shows. You were so fantastic in Cuckoo's Nest. It seems like you've been such an amazing part of the team. I love seeing your posts on social media. Thank you for watching Thursdays at 3. Again, thank you for your amazing video last week, shouting out your castmates. It really seems like this cast in particular is such a tight ensemble. You could tell sitting in the audience on opening night. I feel like I could sense the trust and the camaraderie with this cast. It really made everything work so well. It was really such a pleasure to watch. I really love the show, and I cannot wait to talk to some of the cast members here in just a little bit. Really excited about that. Speaking of the open house, I also snapped this picture of Noah and Brandon during the open house last night, so I thought I would share with all of you. We were about to go into the main stage and chat about all things ALT, and they were just standing there, and they just looked so freaking cute. I just had to snap this little picture of them. So we're very grateful to Noah and Brandon for all they do, and I want to wish my good friends a fabulous closing weekend of Cuckoo's Nest. You guys were so great in the show. Okay, but now we've got to move on and talk a little bit about the next show at ALT, because there's always a next show at ALT. The magic is almost here. The box office opened exclusively to members this week for Disney's Frozen. Don't miss your chance to secure your seats for this fabulous Broadway musical, kicking off our thrilling 98th season at the Alan Shankles main stage. You can call our box office at 806-355-9991 or visit our website to reserve your tickets or become a season member today, which I highly recommend doing. Become a season ticket holder, because the tickets for Frozen are a little bit more expensive. So you want to get those season tickets. It's a great deal. Jason always says, if you don't have your season tickets, what is wrong with you? And I get it. It's such a great deal. And you're getting so much for your money. Our shows here are so well done. And I love chatting with these volunteer cast members in these shows, because they're volunteering their time, but they clearly value their time because they are giving so much of themselves to these shows, all volunteer. It really is incredible what we can do here at ALT with people who dedicate themselves to putting together shows like this. So get your season tickets. You won't regret it. And this is very exciting. I am so pumped to share this. This has been posted on our social media, but I'll share it here as well. ALT's upcoming production of Frozen will have an ASL interpreted show on Saturday, September 13th at 2:30. Interpreters will be located on the left side of the theater when you're facing the stage. Tickets go on sale this coming Monday, August 25th, to the public. To have your seats moved, if you've already gotten tickets and you want to have your seats moved to the hearing impaired section, please email Lissa. I'll go ahead and stick her email up here. Email Lissa at amarillallittletheater.org or visit the ALT box office, and they will get you all set up for that. We're so excited to have ASL interpreters at one of our shows for Frozen. I'm so happy to have something so inclusive with such a big show like Frozen. Very exciting. So spread the word. If you know anyone in the hearing impaired community, let them know that we're doing this and have them come out. Maybe get them a ticket or get them a season ticket package. How about that? And while we're on the subject of Frozen, let's talk about ALT's next fundraising event coinciding with Frozen, the ALT Princess Sing-Along. Bring the whole family and join Anna, Elsa, and their princess friends, and maybe some princes too, for an afternoon of music and magic. Wear your favorite costumes, sing along to your favorite songs, and get ready to let it go with some of our favorite iconic characters. You can even take a picture with the entire gang. We are so excited about this. That is going to be Saturday, September 6th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. at the ALT main stage at 2019 Civic Circle. Tickets are just $20 for adults and $10 for kids under 16. 16 and under. You don't often hear that. 16 and under kids get in for $10. But hurry, because seats will melt away. See what I did there? Faster than summer did. While you're at it, don't forget to purchase your tickets for Frozen, as I was mentioning earlier, running September 4th through the 21st on the Alan Shankles main stage. We cannot wait to see you at the theater. We are so excited about so many things coming down the pike during our 98 season. That is just one of them. So many exciting things happening at ALT. So keep it locked in at Thursdays at 3, and I will always keep you informed of everything that's going on. And our social media is pretty amazing about that too. There's so much happening. There's also going to be another all hands on deck Frozen work call this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Alan Shankles main stage. If you can lend a hand in any way, please come join us, and make sure to RSVP to our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin, at the information you see on your screen, so that we can get you on the list for lunch. If you're going to dedicate your time, you may as well get fed in the process. Am I right? And also we have another show, Frozen, and then Misery is right after Frozen. We're so excited about this show. Be on the lookout for the Misery audition packet. Those auditions are coming up on September 2nd and 3rd. We are getting that audition packet ready literally as we speak. We are working on it right now. That's what I was doing right before this. So be on the lookout in the next day or two for that audition packet to go live, so you can be prepared for those auditions. And we're very excited to announce that we have officially entered the 21st century, and the audition forms for Misery, digital. Look, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but we finally arrived at digital audition forms. The volunteer code of conduct forms and waivers still have to be printed out and signed. We'll of course have those at auditions for you if you haven't filled one out. We just need you to fill those out once a season. It doesn't have to be, if you do multiple shows in a season, you do not have to keep filling out volunteer forms. I keep them on file right over here on my desk. Those still have to be printed out and signed by hand. But the rest of the audition forms, you don't have to go broke on printer ink or sneakily print them out at work. They're going to be digital. We're very excited about that. Big deal around here. And now I want to talk about our Sponsor a Seat campaign. This is called Committed to ALT. We kicked this off last week. It is going so well. So many of you are sponsoring seats in the Alan Shankles main stage, and we are so grateful. This money is so crucial to the operation of the theater, keeping us going. We're trying to do so many good things here at ALT, and when you guys contribute to campaigns like this, it is so helpful. So if you haven't heard about Committed to ALT, this says preserve your support for ALT's century-long tradition. Can you believe almost a century of storytelling by sponsoring a seat in the historic Alan Shankles main stage, commemorated with a permanent plaque elegantly inscribed with your name or the name of a loved one, a lasting tribute to our 100-year legacy. We are so excited about this. If you have questions, you can call the box office. They will answer everything you need to know. If you need to screenshot this, of course, all this information is also available on our website. You can purchase through our website as well if you'd like to do that. Or if you prefer to call the box office, you're more than welcome to do that. You can also shoot me an email. However you want to do it. We just want to take your donation and get you set up with a seat in the Alan Shankles main stage. This does not guarantee you that seat when you come and see a show at ALT, but your name will be permanently inscribed on a plaque on a seat in the Alan Shankles main stage. So thank you so much, a million times over, to everyone who has contributed so far. We're so grateful. We want to get all 453 seats sponsored in the Alan Shankles main stage. Joanna says, digital audition form. What brave new world is this? I know. We finally arrived. We're a little behind the times, but we are getting there. We're so grateful to Raquel for that. And Joanna, you sponsored a seat. That's amazing. That is so fantastic. I'm so grateful to everyone who's doing that. Our whole team is so grateful to you for doing that. Consider it. If you're out there and you haven't sponsored a seat in the Alan Shankles main stage and you want to have a little piece of history, be a little part of this incredible legacy that we have here at ALT. 98 seasons right now, inching closer and closer to our centennial year. If you want to commemorate your time at ALT or have a little memento here physically in the Alan Shankles main stage of how much this place means to you, give us a call or shoot us an email or head over to our website and purchase a seat. We would be so honored and grateful if you would do that. So very excited about this campaign. Can you tell? Just a little. And please, please, please consider becoming a member of our Producers Circle. We love our Producer Circle members. This group of individuals and businesses have made a funding commitment of $500 annually for a 3-year period. We really like to love on our Producer Circle members. So they get special recognition in our playbill, exclusive invitations to various events throughout the season. There's one coming up on Sunday, actually. The ability to make show reservations 1 week ahead of the general public. You can reserve your seats at the Adventure Space. So for sold out shows like Cuckoo's Nest, you can reserve your seats instead of having general admission, which is great. And the ability to reserve your concessions before the show begins. So once intermission starts, you just head over to the concession stand and your concessions that you ordered are right there with your name on them, ready to go. And then you can spend the rest of intermission relaxing and hanging out and not waiting in line. And who doesn't love that? I can't stand waiting in line. So hop on board the Producer Circle, and it's one less area in your life where you have to wait in line. Love that. Vanessa says, sorry, I just got out of a meeting. I was going to say, Vanessa, how dare you? You are 17 minutes late to Thursdays at 3. How could you do this to me? I'm so glad you're here. Hope the meeting went well. If you want to join our Producer Circle, you can call our box office at 806-355-9991, and you can pay that $500. That's a 3-year commitment of $500 a year. You can pay that annually, or you can have it auto drafted from your account, which comes out to about $42 a month. Either way, whatever works best for you, we'll take it. We're so grateful for your support. And I just have to brag a little bit because our Producer Circle increased so much this past season. We're so grateful to everyone who's jumping on board. Just all the support that ALT receives from our community. We're very, very grateful for it, whether that's your actual physical dollars, whether it's your physical labor, whether it's your volunteer hours. We're just so grateful for whatever you can give to us. We are just out here trucking along, trying to stay relevant in 2025 and keep amazing live theater happening by volunteer performers here in the Texas Panhandle. So anything you can do to support us, we are very, very grateful for that. But let's keep it going with our Volunteer of the Week. All right. Congratulations to Terry Stringer. This is, of course, Harrison Stringer's sweet mom. Terry has been a huge, huge help gathering props, including very specific medical props for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She has also been at every show to help with specific prop tasks backstage. She's also been talking up ALT as she's hunted for props in the community and even sold a few tickets while she's at it. We absolutely love you, Terry, and I am so, so grateful for you. Terry, I'm one of Terry's biggest fans. I'm just going to put that out there. I really, really love her. So congratulations on being our Volunteer of the Week. I'm sure it won't be your last time, Terry. I'm sure it won't be. Okay, but I am really, really excited for my special guest for today. Let's just go ahead and get to it. Please, please welcome from the cast of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Cy Scroggins. Hi, Cy.
Hey.
Jeffrey Wyrick, Zeth Collom, and Jonathan Mobley. Hello, my friends.
Oh.
Hello.
I'm so glad you guys are here. I really, really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to chat with me about your incredible show. I love to start off these interviews by asking about your daytime identities. Cy, let's start with you. Can you tell us what you do during the day before you head to the theater to perform?
Sure. Yeah, I've actually just started a new job. So I was in a play and starting a new job.
Oh my gosh.
I've been the theater teacher at Randall High School for 12 years, and I moved over to Amarillo this year, and I'm the director of art, theater, and dance for Amarillo ISD now.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you a glutton for punishment, starting a new job and doing a show at this time of the year?
It's been a lot, but it's been fun. It's been really fun.
Good, good. I'm so glad. Jeff, what about you? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh no. Try logging out and coming back in. Sometimes that helps. Jonathan, while we wait for Jeff, what about you? What do you do during the day? Uh-oh.
I work at the Cornet Library at West Texas A&M University. Can't hear me either.
No, I can now.
I work in the cataloging unit at the library at WT.
Very cool. And Zeth, what about you?
I am a licensed and certified speech language pathologist by trade, but I am an assistant professor and the department chair for speech and hearing sciences at West Texas A&M University.
Wow, that is such incredible work. I'm so impressed with that. Sai, would you tell us who you play? Before we do, Jeffrey, let's see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Good. My day job is I work for Cavernous Beef. I do beef sales for them, a local family-owned beef packer.
That is so cool. I really love hearing about what our incredible volunteers do during the day, because it's just wild to me sometimes to see what you guys do on stage and then hear what you do for work during the day. Sai, would you tell us who you play and what you believe the overall message of Cuckoo's Nest is?
Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, I play Cheswick, one of the patients in the hospital. I think that there's a lot of themes in this show, but I think for me, the theme of acceptance and not othering people is something that I've taken away from the show. But I think it just depends on your perspective. I think there's several themes that you could take away from the show, but for me, that's what I've kind of taken from it.
I love that, and so timely too.
Right.
Zeth, what is your take on the message of Cuckoo's Nest, and who do you play?
I play Martini, and kind of like what Sai said, I think depending on where you are in life is the theme that might stick out to you. I think that another theme, other than the idea of othering and acceptance, really is that though this be madness, there's method in it. I think actually the two lead characters actually are on the same coin of that infamous quote from Shakespeare, from Hamlet, of it's about being in an asylum, and then really, I just think there's a lot of strategy to madness if you really start to think about it, and especially with one thing with all of the patients, we tend to have our own little ticks or quirks or a reason why we're there, and even from an actor standpoint of the method to appear to be other or mad is very interesting to me.
Well, and to your point, Zeth, something that I noticed with this ensemble, because I really feel like with a show like this, with characters who are, playing crazy and who have these unique tics, I think it could really go off the rails in the wrong hands. And I think it could become kind of caricature-y a little bit and a little inauthentic. And I did not get one whiff of that for 1 second during the show. And everyone has such different characters and different approaches to how they're embodying their characters on stage. I was so impressed with each individual person, how they approached their character, what they brought to the table, but then also how all of these different, it's not unlike life, how all these different amalgamations of characters come together and it all just works and it all just flowed in and out. And I know that's that can be attributed to both the talent of this cast as well as Steven's incredible direction. But I was just so impressed with the ensemble nature of this show and what you all brought to the table with that. Yeah, just I could go off on that for a really long time. Zeth, was your first ALT experience?
It is my ALT debut after 13 years of not doing any theater other than vicariously through my wife, as she's a theater arts teacher in the area.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, lucky us. I will say that. Can you give us your take on the entire process with this being your first time?
I have to say, and I mentioned this, I think, when I got to watch the first Thursdays at 3 for Cuckoo's Nest, I was super nervous, but again, it was one of those, I'm going to do this for me and feel those butterflies again. And can I jump on the bike and actually ride it? I did not expect to be cast. It really was it's time to get back at it and just try it. And my wife was kind of like, you need to do it, and when I was called back, it was fantastic. But really, I would have to say I was nervous about being around. I know, Cy and I share several scenes together, so we've become close, and I've become close really with the whole cast in our own separate ways. But really, the family that is ALT, I never have once felt like I've had to prove myself, which is not always true in lots of circles, be that work, be that other productions that I've been in. It really has been, you're new, let us help you be successful. We're so glad that somebody is new here. I feel like kind of the Cy says I'm the cast dad because there's things that I do to try and help everybody, but I kind of feel like the little brother because I keep asking like, well, how do we do strike here? Or like a terrible actor question. There is one scene that it was just difficult for me, and I mean I just had to ask Steven, like, what do you want me to do? And again, Steven was so patient and so good of like, I'll tell you if it's too much to draw back. And so really, I must say, I've seen tons of ALT shows. My first ALT show was Chicago back in 2012.
Wow.
I'm originally from Earth, Texas, so small town guy, but I've got to say the whole process has been nothing but welcoming and makes me want to stay in community theater and get back at it again. So we'll see.
Nothing makes me happier than to hear that, Zeth. I'm so happy to hear that you felt that way and that we'll get to hopefully see you on stage again sometime soon. I'm very, very grateful for that. Jonathan, likewise, unlike Zeth, this is like your millionth ALT experience. How did this process compare to the other shows that you've done, and did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I really have. Obviously, it's not quite as hectic and crazy as a musical, but it's been really enjoyable. I think this is my first time being directed by Steven. I have auditioned for at least one other play that he's directed, but I've really enjoyed it. He really has a relaxing but also encouraging way about him as a director. I think both the last 2 weeks it's been said that he is the actor's director, being an actor himself. So he knows all the challenges. This isn't to say that he hasn't been stern and really challenging for us, but at the same time, he's really let us find our own way. And been open for ideas from the cast. He's really let us find our own characters, and not been too heavy-handed. So I know some directors are. But Steven has a real strikes the right balance between a slave driver and too relaxed. He really knows the vision, He knows the vision, as any good director should, but is also open to for ideas.
I couldn't agree more with you, Jonathan. Let's get to some comments. Michelle says, "My guys, woohoo!"
Hey, Michelle.
We love you, Michelle. Hugh Fristo says, "I'm a bit bummed I won't be able to make the Frozen Producer Circle event. I've got a show and strike to knock out then." That's okay. You're busy doing other ALT things. As long as it's an ALT excuse, we're fine. And then Hugh says, "Those are some great looking crazies and their doctor." And then he says,
Hey.
"I don't know if I have slave driver on that continuum." Oh my God. Sai, you've performed at ALT before many times and have come back after a bit of a hiatus. What has it been like for you to come back for this specific show?
Well, when I got the new job, I thought I'm going to have a lot more time in the evenings because I'm not at rehearsal at my school.
Sure.
And so I looked at I thought, I want to see what ALT is. So I looked at the season and I thought, man, this is the play. This is the play that if I'm going to be in a play this year, I think this would be the one. And it's funny because I directed at a high school camp in June.
Oh.
And I had a play picked out. I was good to go. And I kind of was also reading Cuckoo's Nest to get ready for auditions. And the camp director called me about 2 weeks before camp and said, "There's been a problem. You can't do the show that you were thinking about doing. We need you to switch shows." And so I thought, well, I guess I'll do Cuckoo's Nest. And so I directed Cuckoo's Nest at a camp, just a 2-week high school camp before auditions for this. So it was a really crash course in this show. So this has been my summer of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I've loved it.
You were in it.
Yeah,
already.
It's been awesome. I love the play. It's a great play.
But also, what a great way to introduce character studies to high school kids. I mean, what a great piece of work for that.
Yeah, they had to make you have to make some extreme choices in this play.
Yeah.
You just do. And you have to be comfortable in your own skin, which is hard for high school actors a lot of time, So this play in particular just forces you to just forget about what you look like and just commit to the character. And,
for sure.
Like you said,
I know that adults can struggle with being perceived too, but high school kids for sure. And what a great way to exercise their ability to not care about how they're perceived and actually, because ultimately my feeling is on stage, if you're concerned about how you're perceived, nothing you do is going to be authentic because it's all put on to try to protect yourself from feeling judged, whatever it is. And so those lucky kids.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I always tell my kids, like you said, you have an actor brain and you have a character brain. And you got to shut the actor brain off and think with the character brain while you're on stage. Like you said about just letting go of everything and just think about that. Yeah. So that's what it was fun.
You'll come across better if you just let it go. If you try to, we like to do that though, try to control how we come across and all of that. And if you're going to commit to a character, you really can't do that. It never reads well.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Zeth, I'd love to hear your take on the ensemble experience of this show, especially with it being your debut. After having seen it, it felt we were talking about this earlier, it felt from my perspective like this cast was just so in sync with one another. It feels like there's so much trust between everybody who's on stage together. Did it feel like that from the beginning? Did it take time? And I'd just love to hear about your overall experience performing with this cast.
I think it didn't take once we get past, the first read through and we actually started getting to work, and I'm one of those, I actually prefer short rehearsal periods just because I think you have to commit to, you have to, of course, spend time developing your character and, ask the most important questions. Going back to your point about it would be real easy to make these characters caricatures and almost whatever, one of my things is that Martini is an Italian. And that was one of the things that I really wanted. And he does speak some Italian in the play, but I really talked to Stephen, was like, one of the challenges of someone who doesn't have a lot of lines, but is on stage all the time, is you have to come up with, what would this person do without lines, and then when they do speak, what do they sound like? And so even in that part, you know, I did not want to be an Italian stereotype anyway, but I think for as terms of an ensemble, I'm actually quite used to being in ensemble. I tend to play, not to typecast myself, but I mean, what I've done is a lot of chorus work, a lot of the friend or the sidekick part. I'd probably be LeFou in Beauty and the Beast. I've played those parts, but in terms of the ensemble, I feel, and I don't know if everyone else feels this way, that once we started working, it started working, and we just kind of started clicking, and we would try things out, and they would either work or they wouldn't. We talk about it and agree on these things, and in my opinion, it's a lot of hard work, but it has not been like, oh my gosh, I've got to go and do this with these people. To me, the chemistry has truly, at least from the ensemble standpoint, in my opinion, almost effortless. I'm not saying we haven't worked hard over the past month and a half, but I am going to say I don't feel like there's one single moment that has truly been feigned or pushed, or it's not authentic other than it's acting, if that makes any type of sense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I really felt sitting there, you know, you hear the words, a community theater doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it could just be really bad. That could be a really tough experience. And this is what we always try to stress about ALT is the only thing little about us is our name. The people who perform here, I just talking to all of the cast members from this show the last few weeks, it has really reinvigorated my sense of how lucky we are to have the dedicated volunteers we do in this area who will commit themselves to a project like this and really care about the work that's put in. I've heard actors from this cast talk about, like what you were saying, Zeth, about loving the rehearsal process of it, not just trying to get to the performances, but really enjoying, even if it's short, the rehearsal process and building an ensemble together and sitting as an audience member. Like we were saying before, it could just be a bunch of little archipelagos of characters, just everyone on their own island, in their own show, doing their own thing. And that was not the vibe at all. It was so incredibly cohesive, and all of these different personalities, all of these different characters with all their different backgrounds coming together. And it never felt like trying to one up each other. To me, it could be so easy with a show like this, with material like this, for actors to do a bit for an audience reaction.
Oh, I would say, especially somebody who's, you know, done theater, but then took a hiatus. It was probably my number one fear is I didn't want my part to take away, because we're, not to spoil anything, but we're on stage quite a bit. And so, like you said, it could be very easy in some of these moments to really, you know, upstage someone and when there's something very important going on, but then you also still have to be a character, and a character such as mine, probably, I always say he has what we sometimes kind of joke and say is Swiss cheese brain, meaning like there's certain key words that if their brain was Swiss cheese, certain things would stick.
Yeah.
And so there's times where he probably isn't, he's seeing rabbits or women, you know, in the corner, but then he hears one word, or he sees Nurse Ratched, and then it's like, oh, I'm totally here. But you've got to do it skillfully and artistically in a way that it's believable, but it's not taking away from the overall message of the show. And again, I think everybody has done a phenomenal job just bringing their own talents to this, as well as when we have questions, Stephen doesn't say, well, do this. He says, let's talk about that and explore it. And yes, if it's over the top, I'll tell you. So
yeah.
I mean, it really has worked very well. I don't know. It's really a solid show, and I'm glad that it's what I did to get to come back a little bit.
I am too, Zeth. I am too, so much. Joanna says it's challenging, but every night is I'm going to the theater to play with my friends now. Oh my gosh. And you guys make play look really, really fun. Really, really fun. Jeff, you are an Academy parent and your first show was Elf. Is that correct?
Matilda.
Matilda. Okay. I
Yeah.
love when Academy parents participate in shows because you can really relate to your child then when they do a show and kind of understand the process of what it takes to put on a
Without a
show.
doubt.
Why do you think having a place like ALT is important in a city like Amarillo?
I think, for my family, ALT has been a incredible avenue for my daughter to kind of build that self-confidence, comfort in her abilities, kind of work on the singing, the dancing, the acting. It's given her really that place for her to explore that. She certainly has gone all in, and she's taking a little time on transitions into high school this semester. But it really has been a place for her to kind of catch tread in a community that she feels like she's with her people. And watching her passion for it is really kind of taken us all into it. My wife is not on stage, but she proudly supports backstage. As for me, I probably wouldn't done anything until my daughter asked me to participate. And so I try to always be there for my kids and until they don't want me around. And so Matilda was something that she not only told me I was going to audition, she even picked out my audition song and
Oh
said,
my
"This is what you're
gosh.
gonna sing." But I gotta tell you, for an adult coming into that, I think it's great for like adults to participate and volunteer their acting skills into this space, because I think that it's taught me at later in life that you can take on new tricks and you can find new talents that you really thought you had. And frankly, it really hit me the first time that I got up there and I auditioned. It made me had tremendous respect for what the kids go through. Because I remember when I got done auditioning for Matilda, on the way home, I told Ellis, and I said, "Man, I have like tremendous respect for you because that rocked me. I cannot get up in front of that people and sing, and but I think it's good. It gets your blood running again as an adult, because you typically, by my age, you have a pretty predictable life.
Yeah.
You know where you're going to work. You know how much you're going to get paid or compensated. You know where you're going to church. You know where you're going to eat. I mean, like all those things are just kind of, you just kind of stay in the middle of the road. And so I think it's good for adults to find that creative avenue at this stage in life. So I've been just blown away by how supportive LT has been for family, and we try to support back as best we can. So.
You definitely do that. Hugh Fristo says Jeff's turn in Matilda is the only reason I started auditioning. I love that.
That's awfully good.
Isn't there a story? Isn't there a story between Hugh and Jeff? I think I've overheard about auditioning for this play.
Man, I mean,
I thought
I'm not sure
you guys just happened to see each other in the park.
Oh no, that was Patrick.
I thought you just happened to see.
So,
oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
Patrick. I had, just briefly, I wasn't planning on auditioning for it, and I saw Patrick live in the same neighborhood, and I'm walking, and I see Patrick, which is not uncommon, but he tells me he's listening to the audio version of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he's kind of getting ready for the audition, and he told me you should audition for it. And at that point, I usually say yes to a lot of things that might come as a surprise, might not. But I asked my wife, I said, Patrick should go out for it. They need, in for it. And she said, go for it. And so, if I didn't cross paths with Patrick, I probably would have not auditioned. And so we kind of have a rule in our house that don't audition unless the kids, just because it kind of helps quality time and
Yeah.
doesn't take me out of the house and out of the equation. We felt like this one was worth it, and I'm so very thankful that I did it.
Big shout out to those supportive partners at home when we all decide to do shows. That's so important.
Yep.
So important. Sai, what is the benefit of volunteering so much of your time for a process like this? And you can speak to this as a teacher who also knows what it's like to rehearse a show and for the kids to perform in a show. Why is the ALT experience important for like our Academy students?
I think the life lessons that you learn from theater are invaluable. And the majority of the Academy students are not going to go and be actors,
Right.
But they're the ones who are going to be confident in interviews. And they're the ones who are going to be well-spoken at their jobs. And they're the ones who are going to be loving, and empathetic. And I just think there's so much that you can learn from theater, and I'm just having this conversation with a principal this morning about the benefits of theater. And she shared, I had her daughter at Randall, and she told me, her daughter is not in theater now, but she's like very successful in the job that she's in. And she accredited that, the girl accredits that to coming out of Rochelle because of theater.
Yeah.
And so I think that the Academy is beyond valuable for these students in life lessons. Like, they're not learning to be actors. They're learning to be amazing people and well-rounded people. That's what I think.
I could not agree more with you. It teaches, being on stage, you have to learn to be observant. You're watching the people around you constantly. You're aware. You learn a certain amount of self-awareness. Like you said, confidence, being able to speak in front of people. Has there ever been a time where that's more important than how isolated we've been since COVID? How many screens we have all the time, and texting versus calling, and less in-person interactions and things like that. It makes me feel like, especially in the last couple decades, learning the art form of theater, especially for children, has never been more crucial than it is right now.
And just teamwork. I mean, what's the more collaborative thing than theater? Like your theater is collaborative. It's a collaborative art form, and kids are not learning that. I just think such a benefit to being involved, and not even necessarily having to be on stage, but being a crew, being
Sure.
Front of house. Every aspect of it is very valuable for kids, I think.
Without question. Jeff, do you have anything you'd want to add to that as an Academy parent?
No, I think he's absolutely right. In the case of, my daughter, to a lesser degree, my son, sports are not really their kind of what they're driven to do, but we kind of consider theater to be from the kind of character things that it builds is kind of like sports. You learn to win a team. You really get to kind of understand the give and take. You have to follow direction in the way that you would follow a coach's direction. I think it builds kind of trust in a process, and you get to see the benefits of it at the end. And the standing ovations that our Academy kids get at the end of their performances. That's the payoff. And I'm telling you, I've got family down in Lubbock. I was born and raised in Lubbock, and my parents that come up as grandparents to see our kiddos, they're like, there's nothing like this down in Lubbock. We are so incredibly blessed to have this as a play space for the kids so that they can learn and grow, kind of be part of that community. So.
For sure. Zeth, is there anything you would want our audience to know other than what we've talked about ahead of your final weekend of sold out shows about Cuckoo's Nest?
No, other than it is a great show. It's been a great experience. I will say, being back on stage and being in a show has taught me simultaneously um, confidence as well as humility. Confidence of I can still do this and I do like it. And again, living vicariously through my wife is great, but this is something for me. But then I will share that on the humility part of, I was telling Stephen, I forgot how much I missed. You know, I'm in a helping service related profession by trade and as a therapist, but I forgot what it feels like when a couple that you know this is their, they have limited time with us still because they have all the wisdom that their years have. And it's probably their one night a month or their one night every 2 weeks that they get to go out and spend time with each other and go eat and then also come see you. And to Hugh's credit, one gentleman even said, you know, it would have been real easy for you to be Jack Nicholson and you did it your own way and you're just as good as him. And to hear those things, to not just, you know, myself or to castmates, but the humility of people choose to spend their time watching you do essentially a hobby. It is very humbling and something that is truly a blessing if you think about it that way. So to me, confidence and humility are two sides of the same coin. They usually go hand in hand.
That is such a great point, Zeth. I really appreciate your input and your take on that. Anybody else have anything to say before we head out for the day about your amazing show?
Well, don't come with any expectations. I think I prefer, a couple people before we opened have said that they knew nothing about it. And so I said, okay, well, don't watch the movie and don't read the book. Just come and let this be your first exposure to this story.
Yeah.
And I hope that's been good advice. I myself have to admit, I had never seen the movie before. I was unfamiliar with it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly what I had expected. Of course, I'd heard about it all these years, but I didn't really know what it was. So I'm glad I got involved, and I'm glad I didn't have any expectations.
Well, I'm so
Just
glad
one
that
reminder. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say just one reminder too. Sold out shows, very limited seating. If we know that life happens, if you cannot make it, there are people that are waiting to show, and we love to give them the opportunity. So call the box office, turn them back in. It just helps kind of give the people the opportunity to see it.
Yes, and if you don't call and get on a wait list, come 30 minutes before the show starts. Usually someone just doesn't show up or someone didn't call to turn in their tickets, and they can usually squeeze you in. So don't give up. Don't give up. This is a show not to be missed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this cast, this ensemble has put in so much work. My husband works with Patrick Burns, and Patrick was giving him some of his process of how he developed Scanlan, and Brett was just mind blown. Just the talent that's being brought to the table. I know it's coming from all different angles in this cast. As someone who works at ALT, I'm so grateful to all of you for donating your time, for giving so much of yourselves when life is happening too, alongside everything that you're doing. For better or worse, there's a million things going on, and for all of you to come together and volunteer your time to a project like this, and not just come and just, yeah, I'm volunteering my time, I'm clocking in and clocking out, whatever, but to actually bring so much of yourselves to this piece and put in the work that you did. It shows. Every second of the show was really so tremendous to watch. And as someone who really appreciates solid acting, I am very, very grateful, because it was just one brilliant piece of work after another, with every entrance and exit. I'm just so impressed with this entire ensemble. So thank you all so much for all of your work. This is going to be one of the greats for ALT for sure. And it clearly, with word of mouth in the community and with the sold out shows, that is very evident. So And I personally appreciate you taking time out of your day today to chat with me. I love talking shop with our actors. It's my favorite thing. And I know how busy you guys are heading into your final weekend. So thank you all so much for joining me today. When everything is so hectic, I had a blast. If you haven't already, get on the wait list for Cuckoo's Nest. You do not want to miss this. Please do not miss out on your opportunity to see this show. And we will see you right back here next week for Thursdays at 3. Y'all have a fantastic closing weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Okay. Bye.